8:15.
Late start, Tyler Shin, Oklahoma State, ranked number 18, the redshirt freshman out of Newkirk. Going against Charlie Falk, sophomore. Strawberry Point, Iowa, ranked number 19. Well, the Hawkeyes against Shin defeated Falk 5-4 in Cedar Falls last week.
In a very, very competitive, gritty match. And Falk, like Shin, has had tons of injuries last year. Was out of the lineup just because he broke his jaw, injured his knee, hurt his shoulder, had every injury you could possibly have, and just now kind of getting back to where they think he can be.
Tyler,
nice win for Tyler last week.
Well, a great weekend as far as that goes. He was probably the most consistent Cowboys in the 4 duels over the 2 days, and 14-8 on the year. Ball coming in with a record of 11-5, and they're tied up in the center of the mat as we're underway to get Pat Fitzgerald, your referee tonight, as we start at 1:25 and waiting for somebody to fire the first salvo here as Shin tied up in the upper body, and he showed us in Cedar Falls that he's doing a little bit more of that upper body tie-ups and using that to his advantage. Now trying to get Falk down on the mat as he has him underhooked on that left shoulder, pulls him down on the mat, trying to keep him down there as he got on his knees. Now trying to reach under and scoop up an ankle, doesn't get it, and they're off the edge of the mat.
Yeah, what he's done, he did last week, was more aggressive and really digging in deep with that underhook and really trying to control the head, kind of wrestling that Iowa style. Really coming forward and being physical. That's kind of what he started this match out with the first minute and a half. He's really, like I said, he's working off that underhook on the right side.
There's a single shot by Falk, and he gets in deep on the right leg. Back over the top, Tyler Shin trying to reach back and grab an ankle. Now trying to get a hip lock stuck in. Falk hanging onto that right leg and close to a takedown. Shin trying to fight him off as, again, he reaches back, grabs an ankle. Falk still hanging on that leg. Shin tries to hit the alligator roll, comes out the backside with an ankle of his own. Now Falk trying to hook something up, trying to hook up a cradle as they hit the mat. Shin still hanging onto that leg. He's laying right in the lap of Falk, who's reached back over the top, run a hand through the crotch. Falk. Now Shin coming out from underneath, still has that ankle, hanging onto his head. Falk, Shin still got the leg tied up. Now the double leg. Shin and Falk, heck of a battle here, trying to score a takedown. Shin still got the leg tied up as they hit the mat, and no takedown, and what a scramble we had.
And we are off and running. Both wrestlers had chances to score there. Great job by Shin, who gave up the leg initially and was nearly taken down, but went back underneath that crocodile alligator roll and nearly scored, but great job by Falk defensively, but a very good opening scramble in this dual meet.
They're both on their feet, I'm sure, trying to get their breath a little bit. Falk reaches in underneath, nothing there. Falk, the taller, more angular 125-pounder. Shin a little shorter, a little bit more defined as far as maybe that upper body just a little bit. Two wrestlers right in the center of the mat. And the Cowboy paddle crew down here to our right making that noise as they slap the mat. The time runs out. It is scoreless. First period at 125 pounds.
Iowa's got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. You got Brand, you got Schwab, you've got Gable, you've got West Hand. A full entourage of coaches over there, all encouraging Mr. Falk.
Tyler Shin will be in the top position. Falk will be down. As we start period number 2, nothing. After an exciting first period, just wasn't any scoring. An outstanding scramble that lasted almost about 2 minutes of that 3-minute period. Falk is up. Shin didn't really tie anything up and more or less allows him to escape. It didn't appear that he was all that concerned about trying to ride him. Now he shoots a double leg. Nice shot by Shin, but Falk able to get his hips down. Shin still underneath there. Still hanging onto the leg. Falk is upside down as Shin's headgear comes off his head, trying to come out the back door and score his takedown. Winds up with the ankle. That knee getting twisted pretty good. Shin underneath there, still hanging on to that right leg, and still may call by the official with 1:21 to go in the second period.
That's just good defense by Falk. Great setup by Shin underneath. Nice double leg and was in great position, but Falk went back over the top and tied up an ankle, and great job.
Now Falk shoots a single. Now he tried to shoot it. Shin tried to hit something to come out from underneath. Again, that alligator roll as he tried to shoot back through the legs, and he does, but in a precarious situation. And now a takedown is given to Falk with 1:03 to go in the period.
And he's getting a near fall count out of this.
Yes, he is. Shin laying on his, almost laying on his back at this point, still trying to hang on to that leg to try to score something out of it. He's given up the takedown and 3 points on the near fall. And Falk opens up a big 6-0 lead.
Now that's the danger with that crocodile roll. Sometimes if your opponent catches you just enough, sometimes you'll get the takedown. Probably the right call there by Fitzgerald as Falk initiated a little setup as Shin tried to roll back through, and then Shin just kind of made a mistake. Didn't bail out in time after he gave up the takedown and gives up 3 big near fall points.
Well, again, Shin just coming off an excellent takedown attempt. Couldn't finish it off. And then as soon as they blew the whistle, it was Falk in on the single leg and Shin playing defense. But Falk able to finish it off, and not only that, finish it off with Shin on his back and picking up the big near fall points. At the Hawkeyes leading 6-0 as we're running out of time, and we do run out of time at period number 2.
Yeah, so far, Mr. Falk's been the guy that's a little bit sharper. Like I said, Tyler could have given up the takedown there, but like I said, made a little bit of a mental error by hanging in too long and giving up the 3-point near fall. Instead of being down 3-0, he's down 6-0 going to the third, so he's got to get up and get out of here in a hurry and really go to work.
Tyler Shin, redshirt Cowboy freshman in the down position on the whistle. And he's got some catching up to do. Riding up high is Falk. Doesn't really tie the leg. Just kind of has that tight waist on him. Tying up his wrist and his hands. Set out by Shin. Falk right behind him. Up underneath those shoulders. Pulls him back to the mat. Against him with a tight waist on him. And Shin on all fours at the moment. Shin flattens out. Trying to get his base under him. And now a figure 4 slapped around the right leg by Falk. And Shin flat on the mat. Now Falk will, after getting his riding time secured, allows him to get up, pushes him off the edge of the mat, and it is 6-1. Falk with riding time and a 6-1 lead. His riding time holding at 1:43.
Now you don't want to give up a takedown here.
It's a fireman's there. Shin on the defense again, back over the top, trying to lock the hands around the chest. It was Falk caught him coming in and hit a fireman's or a high crotch anyway, and now Shin sitting on his backside, trying to fight off another takedown. As the Hawkeyes are thinking, major decision now. This is a match, again, that the Cowboys won in the previous meeting. But Shin in all kinds of troubles now, trying not to give up. And he does give up the 2-point takedown right there, 8-1 with riding time. And the Hawkeyes have a major right now.
Yeah, Charlie Falk's going to be 2-0 inside this building. Beat Coleman Scott a couple of years ago when Coleman came out of red shirt as a freshman. So Falk's obviously got some skills. But this is kind of a surprise. I mean, last time was a very competitive, a tough match. But Falk's won the scrambles this time. And like I said, he's in position to pick up a major decision, which would be huge for the visiting Hawkeyes.
Shin still trying to, again, if he could get out, that would be big. They could figure out a way to get out from underneath there, but still in a tight waist on him. He's had trouble getting to his feet. Now he gets up, trying to get out of there, and he does as the buzzer sounds. Did he get his escape? They say he did just before the buzzer.
That'll be big.
And that'll make it a regular decision. 9-2. Falk with a win, but the Cowboys only trailing now by the score of 3-0. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Cowboy Wrestling.
How does free tuition sound? Stillwater National Bank is offering OSU students the chance of a lifetime. One lucky student who attends all 4 remaining OSU home wrestling matches on January 19th, January 21st, February 3rd, and February 11th will win the $1,500 SNB Perfect Attendance Giveaway. 1 semester of free tuition. Participants must sign in at each match to prove attendance. For more on the SNB Perfect Attendance Giveaway, call OSU Athletic Marketing at 744-3067.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rex Holt, Stillwater Radio Sports Director, and I would like to invite you to check out The Game. The Game I'm talking about is our daily sports call-in show on AM 780 KSPI. Each day, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to noon, we talk sports with fans and special guests. Of course, we talk a lot about the OSU Cowboys and Cowgirls as well as Stillwater and area high school sports, but we'll discuss about everything and anything and have. So listen in, call in, and let's try to have a good time on the game. 10 a.m. to noon weekdays on Sports Talk 780 KSPI.
Well, the Iowa Hawkeyes have already turned the tables a bit on the Cowboys. In the previous meeting at Cedar Falls last Saturday, it was Tyler Shim with a late takedown defeating Charlie Falk 5-4. Tonight, it is Falk who wins the matchup, the rematch with Tyler Shim 9-2. So again, the Cowboys, in a much different scenario than the last time around as we get ready for 133 pounds.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise there, Rex. Like I said, credit Falk, though. He came out and won that scramble in the second period. I mean, they had a great scramble, which is about even after one period. But said Tyler tried the same thing, and Falk was waiting for it in the second period and caught Tyler. And Tyler should have bailed out. Bottom line, should have gave up the 2 and went to the third down 3-0. Instead, he goes down 6-0. Falk with riding time over 2 minutes. Just a good performance by him. He's ranked in the top 20 for a reason. Of course, he beat Donahoe from Nebraska and also had another win last week in one of their dual meets, but he's a guy you're going to have to watch down the road because that was a pretty solid performance after that initial pretty even scramble in the first period. So right now, look back to last week, Cowboys up 3-0 after one match. This time they're down 4-0, so got work to do.
3-0.
What did I say, 4-0? Yeah, I guess that I was going to mention that escape he got right at the buzzer could be huge. Tyler didn't quit, knew what the score was, knew what the situation was. Which he's done that all year. He's a smart guy, and he knew he was out of the match, but knew that point could be big. So not 4-0, 3-0 is much better.
That's right, 3-0 Iowa as we go to 133. And again, Coleman Scott's scheduled to come out for the Cowboys, and he will. He is ranked number 5 in the country, 17-3, and coming off a couple of losses. So Coleman's anxious to get back out there and get something done as he lost against Missouri and then lost again to Iowa State before coming home. And he's not used to losing. He lost 2 in a row and back here tonight against Iowa and Mario Galanakis.
And Galanakis is well above average. He is a senior JUCO transfer. Coleman handled him pretty well last Saturday, but Sunday was a surprise for all of us. He's been strong and solid all season. Kind of stood around a little bit too much on Sunday and got beat by a redshirt freshman from Iowa State. And, of course, McCormick from Missouri is pretty tough, but Coleman did a lot of standing around. Look for him to possibly open up a little bit more early in this match.
And no score. We're about 40 seconds into period number 1. First period, 3 minutes, and then 2 and 2. But on their feet in the neutral position in that first period for 3 minutes. And so far, again, this is... There's Coleman, shoots a double leg, gets it picked up, scores the takedown. Off the edge of the mat, Coleman Scott, a nice, powerful double leg takedown to lead 2-0.
Right on cue. We didn't see that last Sunday. It was very tentative, didn't open up, and it cost him in a couple of matches. But good to see Coleman back into it. And I said the Cowboys need him. They can't afford any more. Not to say that first one was an upset, but Tyler had beaten Falk previously, but they cannot afford to... said, give up too many losses.
Galanakis gets to his feet on the whistle. Coleman had that right leg wrapped around him briefly, but just gives that up, gives him the escape, but it's 2-1. 1:45 to go. We're in period number 1. Coleman's got the Cowboys a 2-1 lead over Mario Galanakis of Iowa. Galanakis coming in with a record of 16-3. Ranked 12. They get Coleman ranked number 5, most recently coming off those 2 losses. So, again, 17-3 on the year.
That was ranked 3 for a long time. Of course, lost to Simmons last time he was in this building. So he wants to get a little home win streak started here. Both guys pretty tentative now. A lot of slapping in the top of the head and bobbing and weaving and not a lot of contact the last minute.
Long-range shot by Galanakis, but really nothing there. Coleman ties him up. 1 minute to go, first period. Coleman's got a 2-1 lead. Like to score another takedown here in period number 1. Galanakis keeps reaching up, slapping him. There's a double leg takedown. Wow. Would not be denied. And a takedown, and Coleman's looking for back points.
Got the leg laced up. That was Brian Urlacher-ish, wasn't it? A long range, just knocked him straight to his keister.
Well, Gallinakis looked like he had his hands down, getting ready to drop his hip, and bang, he had no shot as Coleman has drove him straight backwards to the mat with a powerful, again, double leg takedown, leading it down 4-1. He was trying to figure out some back points possibly out of that move, but now as Gallinakis gets back to his base, Coleman will again lace him up with a crossbody right. Has that left leg run inside, draped across the back, and then tying up the right leg. And 7 seconds to go as Pat Fitzgerald, our official, calls a stalemate.
Wow. What can you say about that? That was, like I said, he's got those long arms, and he just gets the momentum with that long-range shot, gets behind the legs and just sticks his forehead right in your chest and just powers through it, and a thing of beauty right there.
And he'll ride out the rest of the first period, and a good first period for Coleman Scott, a 4-1 lead.
Now, right on cue, Rex. He talked about getting that second takedown instead of going to second period 2-1, get you a 4-1 lead, now get you an escape. You know, and then major decision creeps into your head. You get that escape, you're up 5-1, a little bit of riding time, boom, you get the takedown, and all of a sudden you can really start taking the life out of your opponent.
Coleman is down in period number 2, in the down position, that is, leading 4-1. Comes to his feet briefly. Gallinakis gets him back down on the mat, pulls the left arm out from underneath, sticks his head right in that left armpit, going to try to walk it up, but that's not going to work. Now he has that left arm pulled across the back of Coleman Scott. Hammerlock type situation, but Coleman gets his arm free, now gets to his feet. He's out, scores the escape, and it's 5-1.
Yeah, I think Coleman was kind of playing it safe there and was maybe thinking, as we know he likes to go for the reversal and he likes to wrestle on the mat. I think he gave Gallinakis a chance to really make a mistake. And instead, to heck with it, I'm going to go ahead and get my escape and get back on our feet because he's been pretty effective so far on his feet.
Well, he's had 2 forceful double leg takedowns, and again, it wasn't Gallinakis looked like he reacted in time and was trying to get his hips and his arms down, but it just didn't matter. Coleman just drove right through him, as he said, Brian Urlacher, but a form tackle straight out of the textbook as he took him right to the mat with that double leg. And now with 52 seconds to go, trying to score again here to end up period number 2. And then Coleman could be thinking about some bonus points for the Cowboys with another takedown possibly. Although a very tough opponent, and you can't get too cocky. You see that. Gal have his way and have his way. You think you're going to get that false sense of security, and all of a sudden you get taken down. And again, this guy's good enough. You cannot relax and don't want him to get back in the match.
One of those situations where it's soccer or hockey where Coleman's got like a 1-0 lead. That next goal, that next takedown could be the difference.
Well, he's got a single leg, but this time Gallinakis gets his hips down. Coleman underneath there, hanging onto that right leg. They trying to suck that thing in, and that takes a lot of power to get underneath there to suck that leg in, get your shoulder under there, and score a takedown, but he's not going to be able to get it done as the time runs out in period number 2.
Now we go to the third with Gallinakis trailing on the scoreboard, but boom, that's the situation. Coleman seems to be in control, but Gallinakis can get up and get away right here. 5-2, and he scores the takedown. All of a sudden, boom, you've got a match again. Coleman, like I said, the next 2-point move in this match could very well determine the winner.
Coleman got the first move, but jumps around that right side, riding up high with that spiral top ride. Gallinakis is on his feet, and now comes to his feet. Coleman cuts him loose, and it's 5-2. Riding time not a factor at the moment. 37 seconds on the riding time clock in favor of Coleman Scott of the Cowboys. Again, Coleman's got a 5-2 lead. We got 1:35 remaining in the final period.
No secret, Iowa likes to get you to the third period. Like I said, these are in a tight match, and they like to come after you in the third, and this is where Coleman's got to be careful because this is what Iowa does. They work on just being physical and stamina, and they want to get you into that fifth, sixth minute of a match and go to work. So, like I said, the next 2-pointer in this one be big.
Coleman made a shot there, blocked off by Gallinakis. But it was Coleman who made the shot. John Smith, in fact, was saying, how about a little stalling? Haven't seen that other guy do much anything. There's Coleman trying to hit a duck under. There's a stalling warning that John wanted on Gallinakis. 55 seconds remaining in this one. Coleman backs up, takes a glance at the clock.
You don't want to take a bad shot here. Gallinakis, there's another long shot, but Gallinakis just hasn't had much offense.
Coleman blocks him off, got his hips down, no problem. has him underhooked under that right shoulder.
He was coming forward, but he was just kind of tying things up and really not trying to work anything, and that's, I think, where Pat gave him the stalling call. He was, like I say, he didn't seem to be backing up, but he's just kind of grabbing wrists and elbows and just kind of hanging on and not really trying to set up any kind of an offensive maneuver.
Coleman, 5-2 lead, and again, the righty timeout effective. There's a shot by Galanakis. Coleman gets his hips back, no problem. They're tied up in the upper body, and Coleman needs to start coming forward. He could get a stalling warning. Right now, though, the main thing, get the Cowboys back even off the edge of the mat. Iowa leading 3-0.
Yeah, John won't be too happy with this. Third period, Coleman, like I said, 2 big takedowns in the first, but he's kind of put it on cruise control since. Still a tough opponent, a good solid win, but...
Shot by Coleman blocked off. 1 second, and that'll do it. Right in time. Well, there's none of that. Coleman Scott will win it for the Cowboys by the score of 5-2. Coleman Scott, the winner over Mario Galanakis of Iowa. That ties up our dual score. Cowboys 3, Hawkeyes 3. We move on to 141. Right after this 1 minute timeout as you're listening to Cowboy Wrestling.
Did you know that Chevrolet, the best-rated cars and trucks, now come with a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty? Hi, Teresa with Wilson Chevrolet, announcing Chevy's new 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty, complete with zero deductible, roadside assistance, and courtesy transportation on all new Chevy cars and trucks. The best cars and trucks now have the best warranty to boot. Come experience business the Wilson way. You'll be glad you did.
Wilson Chevrolet Jeep Stillwater.
Frozen Peas has been a respected member of the community for decades. She's committed to support the growth of our children, and she's effective at lowering bad cholesterol by as much as 36%. Frozen Peas is all of these things and so much more. So this midterm election, vote for the best candidate for the job. Vote Frozen Peas for Senate. This message paid for by Friends of Frozen Peas.
If you're not voting, then who are you electing? To learn more, visit payattention.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Rex Holt and Roger Moore back with you from Gallagher Iowa Arena in Stillwater. We got some of the alumni back in the house tonight. Fred Davis, former national champion, 3-time All-American for the Cowboys back in the day, and longtime coach at Brigham Young University. Also coached in the high school ranks here in Oklahoma. And receiving the Gallagher Award tonight. And there was also a tribute to Mr. Tommy Chesbro prior to that. So his lovely wife, Shirley Chesbro, out there with sons, Doug and Todd, the former Cowboy All-American, and presenting that award. And we got the duel finally underway. The Hawkeyes won the first match at 125. Charlie Falk, a 9-2 win over Tyler Shin, reversing the results of their earlier meeting when Shin won a 1-point decision. But then Coleman Scott back against Mario Galanakis just moments ago, and it was Coleman Scott. Again, a methodical victory. Got the first 2 takedowns, won it 5-2.
Yeah, it looked like he was on his way to maybe a bonus point victory with those 2 double legs in the first period. Had the 4-1 lead, but the rest of the way, a couple of escapes and a stalling call on Galanakis is all you got in the old scorebook. But like I said, Coleman coming off a tough day last Sunday, didn't appear into it, lost to McCormick from Missouri, and then lost to a redshirt freshman, Gallick from Iowa State. And like I said, you got to get that win before you can kind of get the groove on again, and I think that's the most important thing. And once again, Galanakis is a senior, a guy that could be a player down the road, 16-3. You know, you take anything away from him. He's tough, but here's our first biggie tonight. This was a very competitive, very tough match in Cedar Falls, but Morgan and T-shirt Surtis from Iowa. This could be a big match in this dual meet.
Nathan Morgan, ranked number 4. Junior out of Bakersfield, California. Alex Surtis of Iowa, ranked number 7, a junior out of Griffith, Indiana. We're underway at 141. Nathan made a little shot underneath there. Surtis grabs him by the front headlock, trying to work his way around the outside. Still trying to do something with that front headlock. Nathan standing right in front of him, hanging on to those elbows to try to keep him from going to one side or the other. Nathan reaches in and grabs a leg. Now, Surtis pushes him off the edge of the mat.
A couple of All-Americans, a couple of highly touted recruits out of high school. Surtis wrestled in the Midlands as a high school senior. was an All-American last year, but like I said, they thought he was going to come in and be the Dustin Schlater before he was Dustin Schlater. But like I said, didn't have a very good first year. Was an All-American last year. And these two guys, with the way 141 is, I mean, this could be your third-place match, could be your national finals match. I mean, down the road, these guys they're going to be battling somewhere in Detroit.
Nathan Morgan coming in at 9-2, lost his last match, also in Cedar Falls, looking to bounce back. And Search is coming in a record of 15-4.
So far, Search, like I said, he's a physical kid. He likes to really control the head. What he's done so far, Nathan's kind of come in a little bit. But like I said, Search, as you can tell by his body build, he's pretty physical, and he'll wrestle some wild matches. He'll do some crazy things sometimes. He'll score some points, but like I said, last time, Nathan won just a grinding 4-2 match. Something that Nathan he does more than I think we give him credit for.
Two wrestlers tied up in the upper body. Nathan wants a little distance. He would like to, again, have a little room to operate. Search is one of those guys that does like to get right up on you, give you, try to smother you and work on those, collar ties and front headlocks and things of that nature. And every time it looks like Nathan's, got a little room maybe to work his offense, Search is right in on him tight.
Yeah, trying to keep that forehead right in the chest and dig in with that underhook, control the wrist.
This is patented Iowa wrestling here.
This is your, not Ollie Frazier, but this is long range versus a guy that wants to get in there inside. Doesn't have the reach advantage, wants to get in there inside and hit you in the ribs and keep you out of your game. And like I said, keep his chest right in your head and your head right in your chest.
Morgan trying to hit a duck hunter. Searches pops him in the face as they go off the edge of the mat. Now back in the center of the mat. And again, contrasting body styles here. Searches. Morgan kind of slapping at each other.
Yeah, those head taps aren't, they're not soft. They're not Cole Conrad-like, but they're very physical and kind of makes your head ring when they're hitting the outside of that headgear.
No score, 20 seconds remaining first period, and a lot of pushing and shoving. No real serious takedown attempts by either one, Searches or Morgan. Got 7 seconds to go, and they continue to slap at each other up on the head and on the headgear, and again, the buzzer will sound to end the period. A scoreless first period.
Pretty physical first period. I said there's a bit more time slapping each other on the side of the head than really trying to set anything up, any kind of leg shots or anything. But I don't think anybody had any legitimate offensive move in that entire period, to be honest with you, Rex.
I'm with you.
Searches, like I said, had that front headlock a couple of times and dug in with that underhook, but nobody was on anybody's leg.
Searches in the down position, but he's up and out immediately. Looked like Nathan might try to want to ride him a little bit, but they had no opportunity. As soon as that whistle blows, Searches going up top, inside trip move, and they hit the mat. Nathan winds up underneath Searches, trying to kick his hips over the top as they're side by side. Nobody has scored yet. Searches went upper body, inside trip move. Nathan went with it as he's trying to kick his hips over the top and does. Nathan Morgan with the takedown and back points. Morgan kicks his hips over the top, and then Searches winding up on his back. Nathan Morgan with the takedown and back point. Searches trying to get back to his base, or get his chest back on the mat. Nathan's got his three-point near fall, and what a big move by Nathan Morgan.
Yeah, Searches, like I said, he'll try some stuff. That time it cost him. Nathan was on his back momentarily, but rolled through and just kept his composure. And boom, jumped back over the top, and Searches was big trouble on his back. Back to his base, but
Nathan's got a chicken wing stuck in, now trying to walk it towards the head of Searches and turn him over again. Now he jumps around the left side. Again, got the chicken wing stuck in. He looks at John Smith. John going, walk it towards his head and flip him over again. Nathan trying to do that. He's got both arms chicken winged and still trying to walk it up and get him turned over on his back. 5-1. Nathan Morgan with the lead, and the riding time goes over the 1 minute mark. Big move, Nathan Morgan, and it was Searches who was trying to go upper body originally. Nathan went ahead and locked the hands. They hit the mat, and it looked like Nathan was in trouble, but he stayed with it, eventually wound up with the 5-point move. Now Searches comes out from underneath. Nathan drops down, grabs an ankle. and he's going to try to hang on to that ankle. 5 seconds to go. And now it's in a potentially dangerous call by the official, Pat Fitzgerald, with 3 seconds to go in the period.
That's a big little moment in this movie, Rex. That was a nice setup by Tertis. Nice inside trip. Took Nathan to his back momentarily, but he rolled through. Not a high flyer, a defense, but that was the counter, rolled through, able to keep his composure, and then just kind of stepped over, and Tertis kind of hung in there too long himself and got caught on his back. Big moment in this dual meet.
Nathan Morgan, a 5-1 lead in riding time of 1:34 as we go to the final 2 minutes, and it will be Nathan Morgan in the down position.
Nathan's got the complete game. We talked about him not getting credit for always grinding things out sometimes, but he's also pretty slick. I mean, that was a situation where he got caught in a particular move and rolled through and took his time, and then, boom, used his head and countered it. He said he's got the complete package.
On the whistle, Nathan pops to his feet. Searches drops down on the right leg. Nathan tries to hit a switch move from there. Reaches back over the top. Puts the hands through the crotch. Searches underneath. Hanging onto that right leg. Nathan looking up at John Smith and Eric Guerrero and saying, is there something I could do with this? The official will call a stalemate, start him over. Nathan walking back to the center of the mat. 1:40 to go. Morgan is still down. The riding time down to 1:13. Alex Sertzis of Iowa in the top position. And he moved too soon.
Yeah, off the whistle, so important. Saw him explode to start the second period to get that early escape to take the 1-0 lead. Nathan's trying to do the same thing here. Really, like I said, that first move off the whistle is so important from the referee's position.
On the whistle, Nathan pops to his feet, searches for that spiral ride, drops down on the leg again. Nathan trying to get him off of that leg as he gets off the edge of the mat. He's still down. Nathan was almost out of there, but Search just able to get him outside the line before Nathan got completely free. So Morgan's still down, and his riding time down to 1:05. Again, on the whistle. Search is now trying to stick the legs in, but yeah, he is high. Nathan's caught that leg coming in, and now trying to dump him off the top as the riding time goes under 1 minute. And Morgan in a position maybe to score not only one, but maybe two, but they're going to call a stalemate and start them over.
I did stay there in that same spot for a few seconds. Probably the right call by Pat, but
Nathan, he's not going to win by riding him out. So, again, he's got to get desperate or he's got to cut him loose.
He was thinking about maybe trying to hook something up there for just a little bit, but the time's running out to start working for near fall points. He's got to go to work on his feet, maybe catch him with a 5-pointer if he can.
On the whistle, pushes Morgan away. So Sertzis gives him the escape. The riding time is not a factor at this point. 6-1, Nathan Morgan the lead.
You kind of hope that Sertzis maybe does try something a little risky and gets caught, and Nathan
trying to
a major out of this.
Tried for that low single. He reached under there, tried to scoop up that ankle. There's a shot by Sertzis. Nathan backing up off the edge of the mat. And now Sertzis pushes his head as they go outside the boundary line. Nathan got popped in the nose there. Now they're back at it. 48 seconds remaining in the match. Nathan Morgan, a 6-1 lead. Basically, just don't want to wind up on your back. There's a stalling warning on Morgan. 38 seconds remaining.
Sertzis will go down in flames. He'll try something, like I said, he'll try a ventriloquist or he'll try something crazy. But, of course, he's got to be smart, too, and not give up anything big. Give up the major. Nathan's just got to hang in there because Sertzis is really getting aggressive with the ties and head slaps. But
I think Nathan got hit in the face, and that's why it looks like his left eye's already turning black on him a little bit as Sertzis reaches in, tried to grab the leg. 20 seconds remaining. I may be wrong there, but it looked like when Nathan was reaching up at his nose and his face there that he might have taken a forehead to the eyeball. And
I think it was a little tender before the duel.
Looks like it's turning colors. There's Sertzis. Again, that inside trip not going to work that time. 8 seconds to go. And at this point, Nathan just needs to survive it. There's another stalling warning, so a point for Surtis makes it 6-2, but the time runs out, and Nathan Morgan is going to win it for the Cowboys with a big 5-point move. 6-2, the win for Morgan over Alex Surtis of Iowa. Big win for the Cowboys as the Pokes move out in front. The score now 6-3. The Cowboys leading the Hawkeyes. We'll move on to 149 pounds, and we will do so right after this timeout. You're listening to Cowboy Wrestling.
There are obvious reasons for the success of Oklahoma State wrestling: tradition, talented athletes, premier coaches, and loyal fans. But another huge reason has been the White Jacket Club. Some 500 strong, the White Jacket Club has been the backbone of the Cowboy program with its generous moral and financial support. Travel, training, equipment, it has all been enhanced because of the White Jacket Club. And if you would like to be a member, just call 405-744-4541. That's 744-4541. Be a part of something special. Cowboy Wrestling and the White Jacket Club.
If you're 60 or older, regular exercise can keep you going strong. If you're just getting started, the National Institute on Aging has a free exercise guide that can help. It shows you how to exercise safely, build strong muscles, and improve your balance. For a free copy of the exercise guide, call 1-800-222-2225. That's 1-800-222-2225. Exercise. It's energy for life. A public service announcement of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and this station.
Back with you at Gallagher Iba Arena. Rex Oderline with Roger Moore, and we got a heck of a duel going on. Oklahoma State 6 and Iowa 3. We move on to 149 pounds, and it looks like it will be the true freshman out of Cushing, Oklahoma, Dakota Simpson, getting the call for the Cowboys. Dakota 6-2 on the year. And he is out ready to go against, at least, we expect Alex Grunder, although Iowa could decide maybe to go with somebody else.
Yeah, Dakota's obviously won the Oklahoma Open, wrestled some open tournaments and some, 8-2 overall or whatever, counting against his teammates. But his one varsity win came last Saturday against this man, Alex Grunder. Situation where Grunder probably, you really can't do any scouting on a true freshman, and made the sin of an outside single and didn't secure it properly. Gave Dakota enough time to hook up the old high flyer, rolled him through. High-risk move, but certainly worked out for Simpson last week as he pinned Grunder, and that was huge in the overall duel. I expect a little bit more cautious first period from the Hawkeye this time.
Only the second varsity outing for Dakota Simpson out of Cushing. We said 6-2 on the year. And again, Alex Grunder scheduled to go for Iowa, and he should. He's 8-8 on the year.
Guess if he wins here, you got to call Dakota the Iowa killer, I guess.
And I think we're about ready to go.
Like I said, I expect a cautious first period from Grunder, and we'll see Simpson. He's going to be in for a battle this time. I'm not sure he can, like I said, depend on the high flyer and the long touchdown passes and the flea flickers. He's going to have to wrestle here.
Well, we are underway. And Grunder immediately ties up Dakota, slaps him with an underhook. Simpson on the 2-on-1 arm tie-up.
Dakota will like this. He likes to get in there and over and under, and he'll trip you and he'll throw you. This is what he does.
And he's got the front headlock right now, does Dakota Simpson. Grunder in underneath there, hanging on to the head of Dakota Simpson also. So they're in close quarters, both men hanging on to the back of the head of the other man, and we get a stalemate called.
Ear to ear, like I said, Dakota's got to be nervous. Gallagher Iba Arena, grew up in Cushing, Oklahoma. Boy, this is just a thrill for him. Of course, Cushing is the orange and black, wearing the old orange Cushing High School singlet.
There's a shot by Grunder, not much of one. Front headlock applied by Dakota Simpson. First period, both men on their feet and no score as we move toward right there. 2 minutes to go in period number one. Cowboys lead the duel 6-3. We're 3 bouts in.
A nice tough win for Morgan. The 5-pointer was big, but he still found a way to gut that thing out and beat Tertis for the second time this season.
Again, just a lot of ear-to-ear collar ties. Not much going on so far between the two 149-pounders. Dakota Simpson again in his second varsity match and his first match here in the historic confines of Gallagher-Iba Arena.
Yeah, you can tell Grunder's really hasn't shot in at anything. He's really tried to control the head and really tie up Dakota for the most part.
Dakota goes upper body with an over and under momentarily. There's a shot, but not much of one by Grunder.
He's got the head and the arm.
Dakota then has him underhooked under that right shoulder to go off the edge of the mat.
Grunder did take a shot that time, and Dakota went straight to that position, which he's got to be careful with that. That might work one time, but he's really going to have to get set up nice because you don't want to go straight to your back and get pinned instead of scoring the pin. It's like I said, it's high risk, high reward.
44 seconds remaining in a scoreless first period. Again, Grunder breaks away. Now comes back to the center of the mat, and he and Dakota Simpson right back at it. Shot by Grunder, gets it on a single leg. Has the left leg picked up in the air. Dakota back over the top, trying to lock him up around the chest, but both ankles tied up in the takedown for Alex Grunder of Iowa. Got both ankles tied up, 8 seconds remaining in the period. Dakota trying to reach back and slam a hip lock in, trying to spin the opposite way, but the buzzer sounds. The period is over, and a 2-0 lead for Alex Grunder of Iowa.
Yeah, pretty cautious period there for Grunder, but picked his spot. He said caught Dakota in between one of those bounces, and said Dakota probably should. I don't think he should have bailed any quicker than that. He tried to fight it towards the end of the period, but good job by Grunder. Like I said, he knows what's in Dakota's arsenal. He's going to wrestle a cautious style.
Simpson in the down position. Dakota gets to his feet. Grunder has him locked around the chest, trying to pick him up. Takes him back to the mat momentarily. As soon as he does, Dakota right back to his feet again. And he's out, scores the escape, and they go off the edge of the mat. 2-1. John Smith waving at the crowd, saying, let's go. Let's fire this rookie up. And the crowd comes to life. Two men leaning on each other at the center of the mat. Grunder kind of going upper body now, has an underhook stuck under that right shoulder. Now he goes up top.
And
now they're trying to hook up that high flyers Dakota Simpson as Grunder drops down on that right leg. Simpson gets his hips down. Grunder has that right leg tied up. Trying to pick him up in the air, now does. Dakota's upside down, hanging on around the waist of Grunder. Now they fall to the mat. Grunder still trying to roll through it. Simpson trying to roll through with him. Comes out the backside, and they go off the edge of the mat. 58 seconds remaining in the second period. 2-1, Grunder with the lead.
Now Dakota's got to be careful. You saw that time. It set up his favorite move, but Grunder just, boom, immediately dropped to the mat. Turned it into basically a tug of war. So Dakota's got to maybe set some offense up, and he's not going to be able to score with the old high flyer this time, I don't think.
Grunder with a double leg shot, gets both legs, gets his hands around both legs anyway, but getting his hips down. Now with the underhook, Dakota Simpson. Got the head tied up, got the underhook in, but not going to do anything with it. 29 seconds to go, and Dakota steps back, takes a big breath of oxygen there, and now back into the center of the mat. There's a shot by Grunder again in on the single leg. Gets in on the leg and immediately drops down to his knees, trying to worm his way underneath there and pick that leg up. Dakota gets his hips down, but Grunder's still in a good situation here, trying to finish off a single leg takedown. Dakota again gets his hips down, and the time will run out in period number 2.
Yeah, I think Dakota's realizing that it ain't that easy. Scored the big first period pin, and Grunder, like I said, he's done the scouting, and said we're a long ways from this one being over, but we're in a battle right here. Dakota's realizing that, like I said, 3 years of high school wrestling and pinning your debut, it's
on the whistle, down position for Grunder. A little set-out move here. Dakota with that crab ride, sitting right behind him. Has him hooked up around the head, trying to run a half in, but coming out of that thing with his arms wrapped around Simpson is Grunder. He'll get his escape as they go off the edge of the mat.
Now Dakota's got to find a shot in here. Like I said, Grunder's been the aggressor.
3-1, Grunder of Iowa with the lead. Again, that's not only a match the Cowboys won the last time around, but they got a fall to boot.
With the loss of 125, this becomes a...
Well, it could be a 9-point swing from the earlier duel. We've already had a 6-point swing at 125. This will obviously play in favor of the Hawkeye. There's another shot by Grunder. Gets in on the right leg. And a stalling warning on Dakota Simpson as he gets his hips down and trying to fight off another takedown attempt. Grunder hanging on to that right leg. Simpson does have his hips down, and Grunder can't pick that leg up. Stalemate called, 1:03 remaining.
Now Dakota, like I said, he's made no offensive shots. He's trying to depend on his one big move. He's got to find a way to get to the leg, set something up, get a takedown, and tie this thing up.
3-1. Dakota reached in that time, but nothing there. 55 seconds. Now Grunder shoots in again on the single leg, gets the right leg tied up. Now drops right to the mat. Trying to step around the outside. It does. Hooks the leg. Now Dakota spins the opposite way, locks the hands through the crotch. But Grunder has both legs tied up, and he will get the takedown. 5-1. Dakota on all fours now. Dakota Simpson of the Cowboys trying to get to his feet. 5-1. Grunder with the lead. Riding time not a factor. Dakota gets to his feet. Grunder has him around the waist. Now he'll give up the escape. Now Dakota trying to go up top, grabs his head, trying to throw him to his back. Didn't quite get it done there with a high flyer. The time will run out. And 5-2 will be the final score. Alex Grunder of Iowa with the win, 5-2, and the duel is all knotted up. Our score at Gallagher-Iba Arena is 6-6. John Smith shakes the hand of his freshman 149-pounder. Well, we'll move to 157. This is a tight one. The Cowboys lost the last time around. They would be well served to try to turn the tables on the Hawkeyes in this one. We'll have the bout for you when we come back after this timeout. Again, the duel tied 6-6, and you're listening to Cowboy Wrestling.
Do people in metropolitan areas deserve more advanced medical care than people in the heart of Oklahoma? We don't think so either. That's why Stillwater Medical Center owns the best CT and MRI technology in the world. High-resolution imaging systems provide the fastest, most accurate diagnosis available. You deserve world-class technology provided by doctors among the best in their field. You'll find it at Stillwater Medical Center. The technology to treat, the compassion to heal. For more information, call 405-742-5622.
Oklahoma State Wrestling and the law firms of Betcher Martin, Gene and Jackson and Betcher Lowball have a lot in common. Some hard work, dedication, and tradition, and that commitment to excellence has served the Cowboy Wrestling program for over 70 years. And it's done the same for Betcher Martin, Gene and Jackson and Betcher Lowball since 1967. This is just two teams striving to be the best. That's the Cowboys and Betcher Martin, Gene and Jackson and Betcher Lowball. They're attorneys at law in Ponca City and Tulsa.
Rexo, Roger Moore back with you from Gallagher-Iba Arena, and it is a 6-6 duel, 4 bouts in Oklahoma State and Iowa. Number 4 ranked Oklahoma State, number 5 ranked Iowa, meeting for the second time this year, the second time in less than a week. I want to remind you that following our duel tonight, we'll have our C-Star Management Star of the Night. And remember the folks at C-Star, and remember our friend Howard Allflager, president of C-Star Management and a former OSU wrestler. And he invites you to his offices here in Stillwater at 304 South Duck, or invite you to give him a call at 377-8740 to discuss your rental or your management needs. They'll take care of you. 377-8740 at Stillwater. If you're in the Oklahoma City area, well, you can call them C-Star Management at 405-949-1404. That's 949-1404. And C-Star Management, again, will buy, sell, and manage your property. C-Star Management. Check them out on the World Wide Web at c-star.com, c-star.com. Also, Cowboy Wrestling brought to you in part by H2O Sports Unlimited. And H2O Sports Unlimited is your place for wakeboarding and water skiing gear. H2O Sports Unlimited, 8002 West 6th in Stillwater. Call them 405-533-BOAT. 405-533-BOAT, or check them out on the World Wide Web at H2OSportsUnlimited.com. H2O Sports Unlimited is a sponsor of Cowboy Wrestling. It's Sunday's Duel with Oregon, perfectly timed at 2 o'clock. And it'll be Take a Kid to the Match Day. So every adult ticket, you get a free ticket for the kid, 8th grade or younger. So bring the kids, come on out. For every adult ticket, kids 8th grade and under will get a free ticket to the match on Sunday. As we are underway, 157 pounds, and Newly McSpadden going for the Cowboys, going against Ryan Morningstar of Iowa. Morningstar ranked 15th, and again in double overtime in Cedar Falls. Morningstar won that matchup 2-1.
Now this is a little bit more competitive than Sunday's Oregon duel maybe. Might be home a little over an hour. Tonight, like I said, you look at the scores here: 9-2, 5-2, 6-2, 5-2. These are grinders. These are tough physical matches, and any bonus point from this point forward will be huge. But this is a match the Cowboys probably need to win to get one back. They with the fall at 149 and got the win at 125. This time they lose both of those. So Newly's got to find a way to get this crowd back into it and give the Cowboys some momentum with who knows what could happen at 165.
McSpadden. Morningstar, a very cautious start to this matchup.
Yeah, one takedown in this thing will be big. These guys are both, like I said, Newly's just digging, just trying to find a way. 13-11. He's had a lot of close matches. Had a couple of overtime losses last week. Of course, Russell Paulson from Iowa State. He's knocking on the door. I think he's just got to find a way to beat a kid ranked above him or ranked in the top 15, just to maybe get something going. But he's right there. He's not outmatched or outclassed in any match he's been in this year. He's just had a lot of tough losses.
Well, he lost all 4 of them last weekend. All 4 bouts he lost last weekend. As Roger said, he was in all of them, but just did not win any of them. And here he is tonight. Chance to really help out this Cowboys squad with a 6-6 standoff through 4 bouts.
Yeah, Mosafay 3-zip, and he lost to Chandler overtime, lost to this kid in overtime, and Paulson 5-6-2, whatever that was. But like I said, he just got to find a way to get one of those wins.
2 wrestlers in the center of the mat. Again, a cautious start to this one. Morningstar, by the way, a freshman of Lisbon, Iowa, 16-5 on the year. Ian Newly, the upper body, again, it's the tie-up situations and not much going on. We got 35 seconds to go in a scoreless first period, and maybe the most uneventful first period we've had tonight.
You got to hit both of these guys for stalling. Right there you go.
Yeah,
right on cue.
Right on cue, that's right. Double stalling, and again, both of these 57-pounders, neither one has made an attempt to try to score so far. A serious attempt.
Just ear to ear. I mean, they haven't even touched each other's kneecap or dropped down or anything. Just ear to ear, shoulder to shoulder.
First period ends, and it's 0-0.
I hate to say it, but the most uneventful match of the night could very well determine the winner in this duel. I mean, it's like I said, from this point forward, we just got going. We wrestled 4 matches. We're tied at 6, and like I said, this is where the duel is won or lost in these next 2 or 3 weights.
On the whistle, Newly in the down position pops to his feet. Morningstar drops down, grabs an ankle, and Newly, though, gets him off of the leg, and he's out with his escape. McSpadden the escape at a 1-0 lead. 10 seconds into period number 2. Newly McSpadden of the Cowboys with the lead. There's a shot by Morningstar. Newly gets his hips down. Blocks him off. Now trying to underhook him. Now Newly shoots in on a double. In underneath there. McSpadden now goes to the single. Gets the hands locked around that left leg. Morningstar, the hands locked back through the crotch, trying to find him off. Newly McSpadden again hanging on to that leg, and it's going to be a stalemate.
Good job by Newly. A shot by Morningstar, then a little reshot as Morningstar came up. Got to the leg, but you've really got to keep your momentum going and chain wrestle against a guy like this.
Morningstar, long-range shot. McSpadden gets the hips down, has him on the mat, now trying to post him and go around behind him. Almost, again, had him flattened out and posted and slipping his way around the outside, but Morningstar recovers, gets his knees back under him, gets even, and the two men on their feet. Nice. Again, the shot was not real good by Morningstar, but he had a nice recovery. As Newley almost made him pay for that bad shot, but couldn't quite get it done. 40 seconds to go, and they're off the edge of the mat.
Physically, these guys are pretty much even. Like I said, you've really got to set up a shot and chain wrestle to complete a shot. You can't get the leg right there and boom.
Morningstar, again a shot, but blocked off by McSpadden.
Those good old-fashioned single legs and double legs, they do work, but you've really got to continue on and, like I said, change levels. Once again, another shot by Morningstar, but, like I said, just kind of
Newley
blocked off.
Comes up with a 2-on-1 arm tie. Now goes upper body. Newley around behind the Morningstar. Has the hands locked around him, trying to get him down on the mat. Morningstar walking toward the edge. Newley's all the way around behind him, bouncing on that right leg, trying to trip the man to the mat to get the takedown. 4 seconds to go. Then they go off the edge, and a no score.
Boy, good job there by Morningstar. Newley dropped down after like another one of those reshots. Had the hands locked in a little bear hug situation, but he said Morningstar obviously physical enough to hold on there and inch his way towards the edge of the mat and then roll off onto the hardwood. But, boy, nice little flurry there by Newley. Got to have some confidence going into this third period.
In the down position, Ryan Morningstar of Iowa. Newley McSpadden, a 1-0 lead on the whistle. Morningstar sits out. Newley has him giving that crab top right, has him under that left shoulder, has that right arm around the waist, trying to control that right wrist also now as Morningstar comes to his feet. Newley trying to run that right leg in on him, gets him back down on the mat.
Of course, last time, a couple of escapes is all there was. 1-1 went to overtime. In the tiebreaker, Newley got ridden out, and then Morningstar got the one escape. So, like I said, on a good ride here and get you a minute of riding time would be huge for the Veneta product.
On the whistle, set out maneuver again by Morningstar. Newley again right behind him. Has him under the left shoulder, and again that spiral ride as Morningstar gets to his feet. Newley hanging off on the left side, has that arm barred a little bit, trying to pick him up. Does, gets him back down on the mat momentarily. Now tries to step inside with that spiral ride at the edge of the mat. McSpadden working on the riding time clock just a bit. They hit the edge and off the edge of the mat. Newley's got 38 seconds on the riding time clock. 1:12 to go third period.
In a match like this, every second counts. Go just a little bit longer, but you do not, I repeat, do not want to get reversed in this situation. You got to really be careful.
On the whistle, a little quick set-out move by Morningstar. And again, Newley trying to pick him up and get him back down on the mat. Now runs the leg in on Morningstar, who comes to his feet. Newley with that cross body hooked up, has him around the neck as Morningstar stood up. 53 seconds of riding time.
Pretty big 7 seconds right here. First move.
McSpadden with a 1-0 lead, trying to get a minute on the riding time clock. Quick set-out maneuver by Morningstar. Newley has him underneath the shoulders. They get him back down on the mat, and he's gone over the minute in riding time. Got him back down on the mat with that right leg run back through the crotch. Again with that spiral type ride, but don't want to get too high here and don't want to get reversed.
You want to work this a little bit longer, then you want to cut him. You do not want to stay down here and possibly give up a reversal. We saw that with Coleman Scott against Missouri last week.
Newley's working on that left arm with 25 seconds to go. Newley's at 1:30 on the riding time clock right there. And a 1-0 lead on the board. 17 seconds to go. McSpadden still working on that left arm. He still has that arm barred, reaching back through the crotch. Morningstar, he doubles him up. Crowd coming to their feet.
Wow, he's going to ride this thing out.
Time will run out. Newley McSpadden, a 2-minute ride, and he will win it 2-0. And what a big win for the Cowboys.
You lose at 125, but you get it back with Newley. Of course, Morningstar majored him at the Kaufman Brand Open to start the year, which is a long time ago, back in November. Last week was an overtime tiebreaker. no takedowns. Of course, Newley must have seen something. I don't know what it was, but put on a heck of a good conservative, solid ride. Got to a minute, said, heck, I'm not going to worry about cutting him. I'm just going to ride this thing out. And big win for Newley McSpadden along with the Cowboys.
So Newley McSpadden with a 2-minute ride. The escape in the second period, the 2-minute ride in the third period. Wins it 2-0 over Ryan Morningstar. The Cowboys now lead the duel 9-6. We'll move on to 165 and Johnny Hendricks in 1 minute. You're listening to Cowboy Wrestling.
Charlie's Discount Drug, we care about your health, so we go that extra mile to make sure you have the medications you need. Charlie's also offers free delivery on prescriptions, and how frustrating it is to get out of the emergency room with the prescription in your hand only to find every pharmacy closed. Charlie's is the only pharmacy that will come to your rescue. Charlie's Discount Drug at 8th and Walnut is here when you need us. Charlie's Discount Drug, where we know our customers by name.
Where everybody knows your name.
Did you know that Chevrolet, the best-rated cars and trucks, now come with a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty? Hi, Teresa with Wilson Chevrolet, announcing Chevy's new 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty, complete with zero deductible, roadside assistance, and courtesy transportation on all new Chevy cars and trucks. The best cars and trucks now have the best warranty to boot. Come experience business the Wilson way. You'll be glad you did.
Wilson Chevrolet Jeep Stillwater.
Rexall, Roger Moore with you from a loud and raucous Gallagher Iba Arena. The crowd enjoying the win by Newley McSpadden. 2-0 hard-fought victory over 15th ranked Ryan Morningstar. So the Cowboys losing a couple that they won the last time around and now winning one that they lost in the earlier matchup with the Hawkeyes. We're ready for 165. Johnny Hendricks out, ready to go for the Cowboys, we believe.
Well, Wayne Scott back here and Mark Perry across the way. But like I said, this is where you make the first move here.
Who makes the first move?
Didn't look at the coin toss. Not sure who has to send out their guy first. I think OSU does. Johnny Hendricks is out here on the edge of the mat. But, of course, Iowa possibly going to react to what the Cowboys do here. Johnny Hendricks comes out first. You see Perry over here ready to go. But, like I said, there's nothing until you step out on that mat. So Iowa might gamble. But at this point, you can't gamble. I mean, if they send out a backup and Johnny Hendricks scores a fall, and that just throws everything out the books because they're thinking maybe Mark Perry, who has beaten Brandon Mason before, bump him up to 174 and then bump Lutke up to 84 to go against Jensen. But that could all backfire. Like I said, before the duel, you always talk about all these possibilities and all these things, but when it comes down to it, generally the coaches kind of balk at that stuff and say, oh, guess what, we're sending out our lineup, and looks like Perry's coming out and Hendricks. So all the early talk and all the early hype. There's your sign. Hey, Mark, your shoes smell like trash. Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street. Of course, after the major decision last week, apparently Mark kind of threw his headgear and his shoes in the trash. Very frustrated, but here we go. Two of the top guys in the country at any weight class.
And we're underway at 165. Johnny Hendricks, ranked number 1, the senior out of Edmond, against Mark Perry, ranked number 4, the junior out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. Perry going upper body. Double overhooks. Johnny just whips him off the edge of the mat, and then you come back to the center. Mark Perry coming in with a record of 13-2. He went to the Blair Academy, didn't wrestle at Stillwater High. Well, maybe a year, I guess.
Freshman year, lost to Brandon Tucker, who's still at 125, who's now the Purdue starting 125-pounder. Lost him in the state finals.
There's a shot to Hendricks down the single leg. Perry, the hip lock stuck in at the edge of the mat. Johnny reaches up, grabs him around the back of the head. Perry trying to fight him on to the far side edge of the mat. Johnny Hendricks has the leg, has the head tied up, steps around behind Perry. Perry still with that hip lock stuck in, trying to fight him on to the edge of the mat. Now spins back into Johnny Hendricks. Johnny, though, has got both ankles tied up. Perry's around behind him, though, and takes him to the mat.
Yeah, Mark Perry is as good as anybody when it comes to counters. Johnny in good position, but made a mistake there. Stood up, and Perry with those long legs threw the leg in there and ended up in the crossbody ride.
Off the edge of the mat, 2-0.
Like I said, his whole game is a counter. He wants you to get in on the leg. He wants to go over the top and counter and hook up a cradle and a heartbeat, but that's a big takedown for Mark Perry. Johnny's beaten him 5 times, including last week, and then, of course, the NWCA All-Star match to start the year. Beat him in the national finals 2 years ago. Of course, Perry went to 174 last year, finished 3rd in the country, 2-time All-American, just a junior.
On the whistle, Johnny Hendricks trying to get to his feet. Perry slaps out right leg around him. Johnny has that leg tied up. Perry trying to lock the hands back through the crotch. Johnny still has the leg there. Perry trying to pull him over the top. Johnny trying to kick his way out from underneath and does. But Perry still hanging on to the ankles. Johnny Hendricks trying to get that right leg free. He does. Perry still trying to hang on to the other ankle. As they get back to the mat, Perry again hanging on to the leg. Hendricks turns, trying to kick that leg free. Perry trying to grab his ankles, and Johnny's out with the escape. 2-1.
There's you a little flurry.
1:10 to go in the first period. Johnny Hendricks trailing 2-1 to Mark Perry of Iowa. And they'll go off the edge of the mat.
Now Johnny trying to work for the reversal. Playing Mark's game there. Coming out the back door. Gave up on that and then got the
Johnny
escape.
on the single again. Ties the leg up. Johnny Hendricks has that left leg and now hitting the mat. Mark Perry sticks a hip lock in there. Johnny reaches up, grabs him around the head, and then tried to snake him up off of that. Trying to snake him up and throw him to his back. Now the arm all the way around behind the back. Perry still with that hip lock in there. Johnny Hendricks still hanging onto the leg as they get toward the edge of the mat. Johnny trying to secure the outside leg now. Perry with the splits trying to get on the edge of the mat. Johnny's got both legs, though, as they are at the edge. Hendricks still has the toe inside there, and those scores are off the edge of the mat.
Great scramble. Johnny did everything but score the takedown there. Perry showing some mat savvy there. He likes to work on the mat, that hip lock and those long legs, and good leverage and great defense by the Hawkeye Jr.
He's got the lead, 2-1, 10 seconds remaining in the first period, Johnny. And has been close to a couple of takedowns as they go off the edge of the mat.
And you get the sense after that first takedown, Johnny's been kind of coming forward, and he's a little bit more aggressive. He's still got to be smart, though.
That'll do it for the first period. And Mark Perry's got a 2-1 lead on Johnny Hendricks.
Now, he will take advantage of your mistakes. That's all he did early on here. But like I said, Johnny, you get the sense that the last half of that period, blood was pumping. He was coming forward, and you got to be careful here. Perry on top. This is where he's a counter wrestler and really likes to work with the legs from that crab ride position.
Trying to run the leg in on Johnny. Johnny reaches down, grabs both legs. Perry hanging up off to the left side, hanging on up underneath the arms of Johnny Hendricks. He stands there, looks at the official, and says, what I'm going to do, and we'll call a stalemate.
And we've already said it tonight many times, that first move, don't allow your opponent to get the leg in there to get control of the position. You want to control the hands. Boom, you got to bust out of there.
Hendricks on the whistle, gets to his feet. Perry dropped down trying to grab the leg. Johnny turns, trying to kick his leg free. Perry hanging onto the ankle. Puts his arm inside there, trips Johnny back to the mat. Hendricks right back to his feet. Again, runs the leg in, does Perry, and they'll go off the edge of the mat. 1:33 remaining. We're in the second period. Johnny Hendricks now has seen Perry go over a minute in riding time at 1:13.
And, of course, Johnny's won 43 consecutive matches. Coming in here needs a win to tie for 14th all time, but he's in a battle here. This is one of the better matches Perry has wrestled against. Hendricks has had the upper hand physically and mentally, but Mark Perry's been pretty sharp so far through the first half of this one.
Perry again runs that long leg in and now hooks up a cradle. Hendricks, he's got Perry's upside down almost, but he's got a cradle hooked up. Johnny trying to reach up, get him around the back of the head and pull him off the top. But he cannot go back to the mat because he is cradled up, and the official will stop it.
Yeah, he's definitely working some clock right there.
1:08
to go. He was really going to try to turn him there. I think he's definitely, like I said, he's taking advantage of the clock, riding time, the score of the match.
And a false start on Mark Perry. And Iowa coach is asking why, and the crowd let them know they didn't appreciate it. On the whistle, Johnny, a little sit-out move. Perry with a crab ride, sitting behind him. Johnny, again, reaching back, grabs the ankle. Perry sitting on his backside. Now Johnny Hendricks setting up on the chest of Mark Perry, trying to kick his way out from underneath. Perry's got an ankle. Now has the outside ankle. Johnny turns, kicks the ankle free. And it's tied up 2-2, but Perry built up 1:57 of riding time before that occurred. Now Johnny Hendricks back to work on his feet. 35 seconds to go in the second period. There's a single leg attempt by Hendricks. He's got the leg. Perry hits the mat on his side, wraps the round, gets the hands through the crotch, and gets the hands locked. Johnny, again, a nice single-legged attempt as he got in on the leg nicely, but Perry able to recover and fight him off.
Yeah, if there's anybody you really have to finish on, Mark Perry. He's got those long legs. Johnny's had 2 or 3 good shots, but Perry, good position.
There's a stalling warning on Perry. 15 seconds remaining in the second period. Score tied 2-2. Hendricks again on the single. Perry again with a hip lock stuck in. Johnny got in on that leg again, and Perry right back with those long legs and long arms with a hip lock stuck in. Johnny steps all the way around behind him, hooks the outside leg, and no takedown as the buzzer sounds.
2 minutes. Your duel could be decided right here. 9-6, the Cowboys got one back at 1:57, but Iowa trying to turn the tables for a third time in less than a week, but a long ways to go here. Riding time advantage for Perry, but look for Johnny to cut him and then go after him.
Hendricks will use the freestyle start. And he'll give up. He escapes to Perry, makes it 3-2.
Perry has been hit for stalling, too, so he's really got to be careful.
Hendricks again on the single leg. Perry right back with that hip lock in. Johnny got in on the leg again, but he's been unable to finish from here despite picking up the leg. Now, Mark Perry is completely upside down, wraps the arms around the waist of Johnny Hendricks. Johnny, again, his head's right between the legs of Mark Perry, hooks the leg. Perry laying on his side. Hendricks still trying to finish off the takedown here with 1:31 to go in the period. Perry does have the hands locked around the waist. Johnny still trying to get his head out from underneath there, and now trying to stack Perry, who's still laying on his right side. And Johnny Hendricks still trying to turn back into him. Perry almost laying on his back. Johnny's got both legs, and he's got the takedown. So Hendricks has a 4-3 lead. 1:05 to go.
He's got that leg.
He's got the leg, yeah. He's got him scissored up, got those legs scissored up, and he's trying to turn Perry on his back. Johnny Hendricks trying to turn Mark Perry on his back. 53 seconds to go. Still trying to kick him over on his back as he has those legs scissored. The official, Pat Fitzgerald, right down underneath there looking at it. Johnny still has that left leg tied up. And still trying to get Perry turned over. Perry tried to sit out. Johnny tried to step over the top, kick him over on his back. Perry still trying to come out from under. Yeah, Hendricks turns him over. But it's not any near fall points. They're flip-flopping a little bit. Hendricks trying to get rid of the riding time now.
There he goes. Boom.
Perry, it's under a minute. Perry with the hip lock stuck in. Johnny has him tied around the waist. 9 seconds remaining. Hendricks steps underneath, grabs the leg off the edge of the mat with 5 seconds to go.
Now Brands wants an escape. He's on the mat.
And John Smith comes over, and everybody wants to talk to Pat Fitzgerald. We'll turn the crowd mic down, as there is plenty of crowd noise here.
They want to lock hands as well, but got to their feet. He had that hip lock stuck in. Johnny, a bit of a barrel as they kind of went off the edge of the mat, dropped down to the leg, but I don't see the argument for a locked hand. But they want the one. There's a warning on Brands.
So Brands gets the warning for Pat Fitzgerald. He let him talk for a long time. Finally, Pat said there's a warning on the Iowa bench. Johnny Hendricks a 4-3 lead with 5 seconds remaining. The whistle. Johnny grabs an ankle. 2 seconds. 1, and that'll do it. Hendricks with the win. And a 4-3 win. As he looks up at that OSU crowd, and he comes over, tells Mark Perry, hey, I'll shake your hand. He does. And Johnny pulls out a tough victory over Mark Perry. 4-3 the final. The Cowboys now lead the duel by the score of 12-6. And, Roger, that one lived up to the billing.
Well, that's the best match they've had so far. Johnny, like I said, he's physically and mentally, he's kind of taken it to Perry, but Perry got that first takedown. Mind you, off of Johnny Hendricks' mistake. Like I said, he's the one doing the attacking, and Perry, one of the better counter wrestlers out there, took advantage, got that takedown. But then Mark Perry, you could tell, was trying not to lose.
Right.
He didn't take advantage of that and was really looking at the clock, looking at his riding time, and was really focused on just trying to eke out a win. But Johnny, after giving up that early takedown, was the one that was coming forward, was the aggressor, and just gritted out a tough, very competitive. Like I said, that's the best match these two have wrestled in their careers. But Hendricks out on top, a grinder, third period, rides out Perry, nearly turns him, but huge for the Cowboys. McSpadden, Hendricks, Cowboys up by 6.
The heart of a champion, Johnny Hendricks, shows it again. The Cowboys lead 12-6. We'll move on to 174 in 1 minute. You're listening to Cowboy Wrestling.
How does free tuition sound? Stillwater National Bank is offering OSU students the chance of a lifetime. One lucky student who attends all 4 remaining OSU home wrestling matches on January 19th, January 21st, February 3rd, and February 11th will win the $1,500 SNB Perfect Attendance Giveaway. 1 semester of free tuition. Participants must sign in at each match to prove attendance. For more on the SNB Perfect Attendance Giveaway, call OSU Athletic Marketing at 744-3067.
There are obvious reasons for the success of Oklahoma State wrestling. Tradition, talented athletes, premier coaches, and loyal fans. But another huge reason has been the White Jacket Club. Some 500 strong, the White Jacket Club has been the backbone of the Cowboy program with its generous moral and financial support. Travel, training, equipment, it has all been enhanced because of the White Jacket Club. And if you would like to be a member, just call 405-744-4541. That's 744-4541. Be a part of something special. Cowboy Wrestling and the White Jacket Club.
Rexo, Roger Moore back with you from Gallagher Iba Arena in Stillwater, and we've had a dandy of a duel to this point. 4 more bouts to go, 6 of them in the books, and the Cowboys lead the duel over the Hawkeyes 12-6.
Well, you look at this point last Saturday, and the Cowboys were up 19-3 after Johnny Hendricks picked up a major decision on Mark Perry. This week, 12-6. The Hawkeyes have to be favored at 74, at 84, and 97. So this thing's a long way from being over. But we've already seen 3 matches turn the opposite way. Of course, Falk picked up a win over Shin, and Grunder comes back and picks up a win over Dakota Simpson. But newly, McSpadden comes back with a big win over Morning Star. So, boy, Rex, I'm not sure it could be any closer. 9-2, 5-2, 6-2, 5-2, 2-0, 4-3. So it's about as competitive and about as even as you're going to see.
That has been fun. Brandon Mason ready to step out for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. A sophomore out of Council Bluffs, Iowa, ranked number 13 in the country, meeting Eric Lukey of Iowa. Lukey's ranked number 5. He's a senior out of Colby, Kansas. Lukey comes in with a 17-1, a gaudy 17-1 record. Brandon Mason 17-8 on the year.
Now, these two had a very competitive match up in Cedar Falls, but this should be another one of those, not unlike Morning Star and McSpadden. I mean, points are big. A field goal is big in this type of a match. 3-2 last time. 1 takedown the difference. Of course, Brandon from Iowa, so.
Right. There's a shot by Lukey, trying to shoot the double. Got his hands around the legs of Brandon, but Mason able to get the hips down, get him off of the legs, and they're tied up in the upper body. No score off the edge of the mat, 2:24 to go in period number 1. Brandon Mason. Get the Cowboys. Feeling that, again, wait for him to kind of break through and be one of those upper echelon folks. He got an underhook stuck on that right shoulder against Lukey, and Lukey reaches in, slaps the knee, but now just backing off the edge of the mat. 1:56 to go. We're in the first period. We're at 174 pounds.
Now, Brandon had a 2-2 weekend last week. Got pinned by Askren, but came back one of the few Cowboys to wrestle okay against Iowa State. Picked up a win there. Of course, won against Northern Iowa, but fell to Lutke. But he's not unlike McSpadden. He's got some decent wins, but he's also got some strange losses. Had a little streak going before last week, but like I said, trying to get back in that top 10. Started the year ranked 6th. Dropped down a ways, but like I said, this is like Morningstar and McSpadden. This is going to come down to possibly one good, solid move, a very tactical match with a lot of just hand fighting and
shot by Lukey. Mason able to get a hip lock stuck in there. Lukey got pretty good penetration, and now he's got the arm hands locked. And now trying to go upper body, and Mason able to get his arm free, and they go off the edge of the mat with 1:07 to go first period.
Yeah, Brandon's got to be careful. Lukey's taking a couple of shots. So Brandon's got to at least attempt to try something. Like I said, stalling call, every little thing in a match like this. So these guys aren't the high flyers. They're going to go out and score a bundle of takedowns. They wrestle a tactical style. Forehead to forehead, like I said. You don't see a lot of setups, just some long-range, half-hearted single legs.
Cowboy fans making some noise with that rhythmic clapping in the background as we have a big match here. Brandon Mason all the way around behind Lukey is got in underneath the arm, spun around behind him, but off the edge of the mat. So no score. 22 seconds remaining in the first period. Brandon Mason, front headlock on Lukey. Lukey is underneath there, and 2-on-1 arm tie-up as he has both hands on the right arm. Brandon with a head, though, tied up, and they go off the edge of the mat. 7 seconds to go, period number 1. And that'll be it for the first period. No score between Lukey and Mason.
I guess you'd say both teams had the football 3 times in that quarter, and they punted 3 times, I guess you'd say. No stalling calls, no real shots. But like I said, this comes down to on the mat. We saw McSpadden ride out Morningstar in the third period. This match could very well come down to something similar.
All on the whistle, Brandon Mason in the down position. Trying to get to his feet. Now hits a Granby roll underneath there. Lukey able to roll with him, though. Comes out with the ankle, and now with that spiral ride. Brandon Mason on his knees. 1:40 remaining in the second period. No score. Brandon Mason, set out move. Lukey has him around the waist. Now drops down on the leg. Brandon getting his hips down, trying to get that leg free. Getting back inside that circle. Lukey just hanging on to that leg, and Brandon trying to get him off, and does. The score is escape point, and they go on the edge of the mat. Brandon Mason a 1-0 lead.
You just got to find a way. Dig in there, get you a man off balance or something. If Brandon could just find a takedown, second half of this period, that would be huge. Capital H-U-G-E, I think.
They're back to the same scenario we saw throughout the first period. Leaning and pushing and shoving. There's Brandon with a long shot.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be careful with those. You don't want to make a mistake in a tight battle like this. You got to really. Hear John Smith in the background say, "Quit, stand and take it to him."
There's a little shot by Lukey, and that wasn't real good. Brandon ties him up, front side, the front headlock. Lukey, though, hanging on to those elbows and trying to get off. It does. Is backing off the edge of the mat. 35 seconds to go, second period. Mark Branch up, yelling few instructions to Brandon Mason. Brandon with that similar tall, angular build for a wrestler. As Mark Branch used so beautifully to great effectiveness during his Cowboy wrestling career. Shot by Lukey. Locked off by Mason, though. Got his hips down. 12 seconds to go off the edge of the mat.
And neither man's really stalling. It's just so even right now. Neither man's having trouble to really tie anything up. It's just forehead to forehead. And like I said, these guys know each other pretty well.
Well, the time runs out. We head to the final 2 minutes, and Eric Lukey's going to be down, as we all know. If Brandon Mason can get that first move, he could make it interesting here in the third period.
Get the legs in there, and like I said, if he could, it's like McSpadden, the same situation Newley was in. Had a 1-0 lead going to the third. This is Brandon's strength, but like I said, Lukey obviously pretty powerful and tough to keep on the mat.
And Mason got the first move. Got that left leg wrapped around the waist of Lukey, trying to flatten him out on the mat. Don't want to get too high, but Brandon's so good with those legs. And on the right, has him hooked up underneath the chin. Again, has those legs run inside on Lukey. Lukey just laying there, and a stalemate call by the official. Only let it go about 20 seconds. .140 remaining. Brandon trying to run the leg in on Lukey. He does get that leg stuck in there. Figure four around that right leg now. Breaks him down flat on the mat and now goes to work. And Brandon's so good. Once he gets those legs tied up and flattens you out, he's good at those cheap tilts and turning people over. Lukey, of course, trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Mason still got that right leg secured. And again, trying to figure out a way to get this Hawkeye flipped over on his back. Trying to get some back points out of this situation. In the meantime, he's working on the riding time clock just a bit. Again, Brandon Mason from that top position. Has that right leg tied up, Lukey flat on his chest, and Brandon Mason continuing to work on top. And now he's trying to get him turned over.
The coaches want a stalling on the underneath man, which
stalemate, and John Smith out, and he's upset. He's saying he was calling for stalling. He's not doing anything but laying there, and Brandon Mason has a 1-0 lead, 35 seconds on the riding time clock at the moment.
And it all comes down to this little split second of Pat Fitzgerald's whistle. Brandon can break him down again at 35. He could possibly get to that riding time point again. This time Lukey to his feet, though.
And Mason has him tied up underneath the shoulder and around the head, trying to pull him back down on the mat. Lukey is back down on the mat. He tries to hit a little switch maneuver and now trying to reach around behind Brandon Mason. Mason has his head and his arm locked up as Lukey comes to his feet and just throws Mason to the mat. Mason locking those legs around him, though, as they hit the mat. Lukey trying to turn his way into Brandon Mason. If he can, Mason's in trouble. In fact, he's in maybe in some trouble now as far as that defensive fall maneuver, and now trying to get off his back. 10 seconds. Mason had just gone over the 1-minute mark in riding time, and he's going to lose. Clock is running out, and the riding time's back under a minute. And the buzzer sounds, no riding time. And Lukey, with that late reversal, is going to win it by the score of 2-1 over Brandon Mason. A win for the Hawkeyes. Cowboys see their lead cut to 3 at 12-9. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Cowboy Wrestling.
Carla Knight is on a crusade to stamp out bad breath. And as a pharmacist at Tiger Drug, she has recruited many to join her in her cause. If you would like to talk to her about it, stop in and bring a Tic Tac to Tiger Drug, 9th and Walnut. A trip to Tiger Drug is like a trip to the Midway. Let Craig Stone guess your weight. Carla Knight wrestle a real alligator handbag. Or marvel at Neil Conkey, the world's tallest midget. Ring the bell and win a prize at 9th and Walnut.
Teamwork and dedication has always been a trademark of Oklahoma State Wrestling, as well as the law firms of Betcher Martin Gina Jackson and Betcher Lowball. And with a huge staff of attorneys and legal assistants specializing in personal injuries, workman compensations, and Social Security claims, Betcher Martin Gina Jackson and Betcher Lowball has shared this commitment to you since 1967. It's Betcher Martin Gina Jackson and Betcher Lowball, attorneys at law, Ponca City and Tulsa.
Well, we're back with you. Gallagher Amba Arena had a heck of a matchup at 174, another nail-biter. But this time, Iowa's Eric Lukey comes out on top. He did the last time, 3-2 against Brandon Mason. And tonight, Mason just had gone over the 1-minute mark in riding time and then got reversed. And as he did, there were, again, just inside of 10 seconds remaining. Had enough time for Lukey to score the 2 and run down the riding time back under the 1-minute mark. And it was a 2-1 win for Lukey and the Hawkeyes. So right now it's Iowa 12, Oklahoma State 9 with 3 matches remaining. And the Cowboys really not favored in any of the three remaining matches. There's neither guy's ranked at 84. The last time around, Keedy won 7-3 over Jensen. Neither man ranked at 197, but Erickson beat Jared Shelton by a major decision the last time. Jared Rochalt did beat Fields, but according to the rankings, Fields is ranked 8th, Rochalt ranked 11th. So, again, the Cowboys going to have to figure out a way to pull one out of the fire here in these last three matches.
No, that was a biggie at 174. That's the danger you run into when you're in a tight match. You have a 1-point lead and you're trying to ride something out. You give up that late reversal, which Brandon, I think, should have probably, after he got up in that front headlock when Ludwig got to his feet, you got to cut the man, and turn it into a 1-1 match and go for a battle. But Brandon hung on and just got caught in there, just got caught in a bad situation. Ludwig got the reversal. Credit Ludwig. Got it to the third period, a tight match. But, like I said, that's the danger you have when you're trying to ride something out in a 1-0 match. Unless you get to a minute 50 riding time or you secure that riding time point, then, at worst, you give up a reverse, you're going to go to overtime. But, like I said, a tough loss for Brandon. Good win for Iowa. But, like I say, Podna, 3 matches left, and Iowa's definitely favored in 2 of the 3. So, like I said, no bonus point victories tonight. I'll say this again, 9-2, 5-2, 6-2, 5-2, 2-0, 4-3, 2-1. That's about as close as you're going to find in a dual meet.
And we're out at 184. Jack Jensen for Oklahoma State, a junior out of Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Philip Keedy out for Iowa, a redshirt freshman out of Vernal, Utah. And we are underway. Jack Jensen 14-10 on the year. Keedy coming again with a record of 9-6.
Yeah, Keedy, like I said, it was tough to see from way up there in the top of the Unidome, but Keedy very well put together. We knew he was short and stocky, but you get a closer look at him, and this is a well put together redshirt freshman. Like I said, he's not going to thrill you with a bunch of fancy maneuvers, or he's going to wrestle on shape, get you to the third period, and like I said, Jack's just got to find a way, no matter what it takes, how you do it. Doesn't matter if it's something from junior high or high school or something you learn in the backyard, but he's just got to find a way to get a win for the Cowboys right here.
Well, they're circling toward the center of the mat. Jack shoots in on the single leg. Getting the hips down is Keedy and gets the leg free. Now Keedy takes a shot. He got a heavy, heavy wrap around his right leg from about the middle of his calf all the way up to the middle of his thigh. Obviously nursing some sort of an injury on that right leg.
Yeah, Keedy won between these two in overtime way back at the Kaufman brand, but like I said last week, pretty much controlled Jack throughout the match, got that late takedown to separate the score, but you never had the feeling that, like I said, Jack was in a position to win that match.
Jensen and Keedy, Jack's had the only semi-shot so far in this one. Not much going on at the moment. Just the collar ties, the hand fighting, and the crowd getting a little antsy here. Cheerleaders trying to get the crowd fired up. And the process, maybe get Jack Jensen fired up. We're inside of a minute in a scoreless first period. And again, another very cautious start to this match. Jensen, a little head snap, got the man on the mat momentarily, but no damage done. Keedy right back to his feet. And again, not much going on here as we move toward 30 seconds remaining in the first period.
Yeah, a lot more forehead to forehead and real offensive shots. You can't really hit either man for stalling at this point because they have been active with the ties, but they're both being very cautious because they know this is a very big match in this dual meet.
Well, they're leaning on each other, and that looks like that's going to be the end of a scoreless first period. Not much happening here. Nothing as we head to period number 2.
Yeah, Jack's just going to have he's a short, stocky opponent. He's just had a tough time really getting inside and controlling the inside ties and really setting anything up. So this is going to come down to a couple of moves. But good first period for Jack, but like I said, he just got to find a way. I mean, he's going to have to do something maybe he hasn't done before or something that he's depended on for a long time.
Oh, the whistle. Jack, a little quick sit out, but doesn't do anything with it. Keedy able to get that shoulder into him. They get to the edge of the mat. Jensen going to ditch that thing, get off the edge, and try it again. No score. We're in the second period at 184 pounds. One of 3 bouts remaining. Cowboys nursing a 3-point lead, 12-9 over the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Cowboys are going to have won 7 in a row. Quick switch move hit by Jensen. Gets to his feet. And Keedy trying to hang on to him. Drops down on the leg, and they go off the edge of the mat again.
Boy, he was close to being out there, but credit Keedy. Good athletic move. Bounce back up. Got control again. Jack was, boy, that was about as close as you can get to an escape without possibly getting away. But then again, it came off the first move.
On the whistle. Gets it to his feet. Keedy trips him back down on the mat. Now flattens him out for just a moment. Jensen right back to his base. Keedy again. Jack gets to his feet and gets out, scores his escape. 1-0 Jensen. Keedy able to ride him for about 34 seconds. We're inside of a minute 20 remaining in the second period.
Boy, points are just at a premium second half of this dual meet. Actually, all night. It's been tough to score points, and we got another one right here, Rex.
Off the edge of the bat. Jack Jensen. Battling Philip Keedy. Again, he's a redshirt freshman out of Utah for the Iowa Hawkeyes, trying to come to Stillwater and win and snap a 7-match losing streak to the Cowboys in the process.
Haven't won in this building since 95-96.
Two wrestlers leaning on each other, and again, a lot of what we saw in the first period as Jack loses his headgear.
Keedy a little banged up. He's got some tape on the head, black eye, right leg wrapped, mouthpiece. He looks like a Hawkeye, doesn't he? Old headgear. That headgear's probably about 20 years old, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of held together by tape also. Got Jack's headgear problem corrected for a moment, but Keedy right back up, pulls that headgear right back off, but no, it's okay.
Keedy put it back on for him right there. Like I say, those are in there grinding ear to ear and forehead to forehead. It's good thing you have a headgear on right now, because these guys are really physical with the...
Jack almost had the angle picked up. He's got around behind Keedy, and he loses his headgear again.
Cowboy bench about came unglued right there. That split second. They know it's come down to one little move in this one.
Keedy takes a long-range shot, but nothing there. 10 seconds to go, period number 2. Jensen. Again, the guy that's hard to maneuver around the mat, going to have to use his quickness and try to get something scored, but the time has expired in period number 2. Jensen a 1-0 lead. Riding time right now not a factor. It will be Keedy in the down position.
Yeah, Keedy, those little short arms, just tough for Jack to really get inside there and just do anything.
On the whistle, Keedy immediately to his feet. Jensen cuts him loose, and it's 1-1.
Could be your dual mate right here the next minute and a half.
Keedy hasn't shown us a lot offensively so far here. But like a lot of the Hawkeyes, doesn't show you anything till about the last 30 seconds, then tries to score that winning takedown. Cowboy fans starting to make some noise. Realize that the Cowboys need Jack Jensen. Jack gets in on a single leg, making a double leg, and a takedown. Jensen with a takedown. 3-1 lead for Jensen. Getting to his feet and escaping is Keedy. And now Keedy goes charging in to Jack Jensen. Jack leads 3-2. Keedy going upper body. Has him underhooked under that right shoulder. Keedy being aggressive in that upper body. We haven't seen him shoot now. He tries to go in underneath. Jack gets a hip lock stuck in, gets him off of the leg, and he'll go off the edge of the mat.
Yeah, sweet move. Like you said, he's got to use his quickness. That's what he did, that little low single, but then changed levels, drove through Keedy, turned it into a double, and a huge takedown for Jack Jensen.
So Jack's got the lead 3-2. 55 seconds remaining. Jack may have an opportunity to score again as, boy, I tell you what, he's just kind of flying in there, talking about his opponent, Keedy. He doesn't really look like he has a real good low shot of any type. Or at least hasn't shown us one. Jack catching coming in with that momentum. Maybe an opportunity to pick one up, pick up a leg, and score another takedown. Jack working on a front tie-up. 20 seconds to go. Jensen leading 3-2. Could be huge. Keedy backs up, looks at the clock. 15 seconds. Jensen got the head tied up. Keedy charging in. Jensen gets a stalling warning. Doesn't matter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3-2. Jack Jensen with the lead.
He threw a punch.
And it was Keedy throwing a punch. Keedy threw a punch and hit Jack Jensen in the side of the head, and Iowa's going to lose a team point and the match. Jack Jensen, boy, Roger, what a big win. 3-2 for Big Jack.
Well, last week, he got blood coming from his eye. I don't know if that was that was a legitimate punch by Keedy, but last week, remember, against Jordan, the 5th-ranked wrestler in the country, Jack nearly got the takedown right at the end of that match to pick up that win. He's been a lot like Newly McSpadden. He's just trying to find a way to pick up that big win over a ranked individual among the top 10, top 15, or whatever. Keedy, not one of those guys, but coming off losing to this guy twice. That's huge for Jack Jensen. Of course, it's even bigger for the Cowboys. They take a 15-9 lead, but what a great win for Jack Jensen.
15-8 make it because Iowa lost the team point because Keedy, as that match ended, just threw a right hand and hit him in the side of the head right in front of the official. And immediately, Pat Fitzgerald, he didn't. That's an easy call. He immediately pointed the scores table, said Iowa loses a team point. So the Cowboys get a huge win. Iowa loses a team point. 15-8, Oklahoma State. We move to 197 in 1 minute. Give us the Cowboy Wrestling.
How does free tuition sound? Stillwater National Bank is offering OSU students the chance of a lifetime. One lucky student who attends all 4 remaining OSU home wrestling matches on January 19th, January 21st, February 3rd, and February 11th will win the $1,500 SNB Perfect Attendance Giveaway. 1 semester of free tuition. Participants must sign in at each match to prove attendance. For more on the SNB Perfect Attendance Giveaway, call OSU Athletic Marketing at 744-3067.
There are obvious reasons for the success of Oklahoma State wrestling. Tradition, talented athletes, premier coaches, and loyal fans. But another huge reason has been the White Jacket Club. Some 500 strong, the White Jacket Club has been the backbone of the Cowboy program with its generous moral and financial support. Travel, training, equipment, it has all been enhanced because of the White Jacket Club. And if you would like to be a member, just call 405-744-4541. That's 744-4541. Be a part of something special. Cowboy Wrestling and the White Jacket Club.
Rex Holt and Roger Moore back with you from Gallagher Iowa Arena. We move to 197. The Cowboys now leading this duel 15-8. And what a huge win for Jack Jensen. So the Cowboys have, again, lost a couple that they won in the earlier meeting, but won now, too, that they lost the last time around.
So, yeah, 125. Falk comes out, gives Iowa the early momentum. Of course, Tyler won that last Saturday. Dakota Simpson with a huge pin against Grunder. Grunder comes back and beats Dakota, but Newland McSpadden, a tough, gritty 2-0 win right out the third period. And then Jack Jensen, boy, that's just a nice win for him over a kid that he should beat. I mean, like I said, Keedy didn't do a whole heck of a lot, but Jensen found a way to get that one takedown, stayed in there, stayed tough, and just found a way to win. Like I said, just found a way to win a match.
And we move to 197. And it's Jared Shelton, the sophomore out of Sand Springs for Oklahoma State, going against Dan Erickson, the sophomore out of Eagle, Idaho. 15-8, the Cowboys lead. Iowa again lost a team point, and that could be absolutely huge when it's all said and done. We shall see. 2 bouts remaining, including this one at 197. Last time around, again, Derrickson had his way with Jared Shelton, won it by a major decision, 11-1. Jared immediately, there's a double leg shot and a takedown by Dan Erickson.
Yeah, you look at this situation here, up by 7. You just don't want to give up bonus points. I mean, you get a major here.
Erickson
you get a win in the last one, and you're looking at a tie.
Erickson cut him loose and immediately shoots right back in on Shelton. Shelton gets a hip lock stuck in this time and gets off the edge of the mat. Mark Branch is up. Hey, get down in your stance and be ready.
Exactly. They know the situation. 7-point lead. You don't want to get pinned, first of all. You want to give up a tech, secondly. And then, of course, third, you don't want to give up a major. Of course, go ahead and win the match and take away all doubts. But Cowboys did win last week at heavyweight. That's one of those toss-up battles for that team point. Philip Keedy, a long ride home for him if they do happen to win these last two. But the Cowboys want to win these last two and call it good.
Sheldon tried to hit a high crotch there as he got in underneath Erickson. Didn't happen. Erickson 10-5 on the year, as was still made call by the referee Pat Fitzgerald. Jared Shelton 12-8 on the season.
This is a similar situation to Jack. Jared's got to use some quickness and with that athleticism. As we all know, he can make 84 if he has to, but he is put together pretty well.
Erickson leads it 2-1. Erickson a double leg shot, and the hip lock stuck in by Shelton. He's got it in there deep. Now he's trying to get those hips underneath there and try to kick the man over the top and do something with it. But, again, still trying to keep that hip lock stuck in there and with that leg in underneath there. Now they slowly come to their feet. Now he kicks his man over the top, and he'll score the takedown. Takedown. Shelton comes out with a takedown, and the coaches are saying turn him over, and a
injury
timeout call there.
The old Sheltonator. I was going to say, it's going to be tough to get that against a bigger, stronger individual, but like I said, he just kept hopping, and he's just good with that. That is his specialty, and hopped over the top of Erickson. That's what happens. Either he goes to his back or he hurts his shoulder, and that's kind of what we're doing right here.
Yeah, they're looking at his left shoulder, but again, it wasn't anything that, if he doesn't hurt his shoulder, he's on his back, and Shelton's getting back points. But he allowed his shoulder to get turned in an awkward situation, and because he didn't want to go to his back. So now he's being checked out by the trainer.
I'm pretty sure that this is because he was injured early in the year, injured his shoulder.
Now they're calling out the OSU physicians from Oklahoma State.
Russell was a true freshman last year. Of course, Rochelt handled him, but I'm pretty sure his shoulder was the injury that he had earlier this year that maybe kept him out of the lineup. He made his first appearance because they said he might not even be in Cedar Falls last week, but he did wrestle. Like I said, he's not moving very much right now. And they got a handful of educated doctor types out there looking at it.
Well, again, it appears that there is something wrong with that shoulder. I'm just looking at it from here, and that thing looks like it's out of the socket. Not trying to be gross, but it looks like his arm is out of the socket, and they're trying to pop it back in. And I think this is going to be a injury default situation. I'm looking at his left shoulder, Roger. Does that look like it to you? Like maybe there's an indention there where his arm is out of the socket possibly, and they're trying to pop that thing back in.
And they're really holding it still and not, like I said, he's done.
Yeah.
They're going to carry him off of here, and he's got a big-time shoulder injury.
There, Shelton shakes his hand. Shelton's going to win it on the injury default with a big Sheltonator and a major shoulder injury resulting in that for Dan Erickson. But that'll wrap up the festivities as far as the duel goes.
Unfortunate right there. That's a great duel to kind of end on that note.
Well, the injury default, at 2:15 as Jared Shelton. And we saw the reappearance of the Sheltonator, though, and that's what caused that whole problem. And got Shelton the lead and wound up causing Dan Erickson to have a shoulder injury and gives the Cowboys 6 more points with the injury default. And that will wrap up the duel. Cowboys are on top, 21-8. Heavyweights up next. After this, you're listening to Cowboy Wrestling.
Tiger Drug's Neil Conkey considers himself quite a fisherman. And if you're interested in his angling expertise, you should pick up his book, Noodlin' with Neil, at Tiger Drug, Stillwater. During slow times, Carla Knight likes to design unique women's wear from items she finds around Tiger Drug. Come by and see her new pillbox hat, or try on a pair of rubber evening gloves at Tiger Drug, 9th and Walnut.
Did you know that Chevrolet, the best-rated cars and trucks, now come with a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty? Hi, Teresa with Wilson Chevrolet, announcing Chevy's new 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty, complete with zero deductible, roadside assistance, and courtesy transportation on all new Chevy cars and trucks. The best cars and trucks now have the best warranty to boot. Come experience business the Wilson way. You'll be glad you did.
Wilson Chevrolet Jeep Stillwater.
Rexo, Roger Moore back with you from Gallagher Iber Arena. And again, if you love sport like we all do, regardless, you love to see great competition. We've had that tonight. You hate to see injuries. Unfortunately, we just saw one there a moment ago. And who knows what might have happened, but Jared Shelton with what we call the Sheltonator, where he gets in with that hip lock stuck in deep, gets that left leg. They're side by side, gets that leg deep in underneath his opponent. And then he pulls on that arm, kicks that leg, and kicks his opponent up right over the top. I mean, the guy's almost doing a headstand at one point as he goes to his back. Well, Dan Harrison went to his front, although he was still locked up around the head, and that immediately caused a shoulder injury, and that match ended in a hurry. So the Cowboys have wrapped up the duel 21-8. As we go to the heavyweights, Jared Rochelle for Oklahoma State, ranked 11th, redshirt freshman out of Ponca City. And he is meeting Matt Fields, ranked 8th in the nation, a junior out of Loudon, Iowa. And one match remaining. Last time around, Rochelle pulled out a narrow 2-1 victory just about a week ago.
Yeah, sitting up there in the press box at the old Unidome, you look down on these guys, and they just don't seem like they're that big. But you got a couple of 240. Fields a little bit bigger than Jared, of course, but like I said, they're a couple of guys that I want to mess with in a back alley, that's for sure.
Off the edge of the mat, and as usually the case, Rochelle, the smaller of the two, but not a huge discrepancy as we see with some of the heavyweights. I'm going to say about a 15, 20-pound advantage maybe for Matt Fields of Iowa.
Yeah, he's a lot of fat on that body. He's well put together. Well tattooed. He's had trouble finding ways to score points.
He's 14-6 on the year. Again, one of those losses to Jared Rochelle. Rochelle tried a low ankle pick, almost got it there. Jared 16-7 on the year. He had a bad last match at Cedar Falls. I'm sure he's anxious to get back out there, get the bad taste of that one. A lot of Cowboys, again, a poor performance, admittedly so, by most all of them.
Yeah, if anybody's been hot and cold, it's been Jared Rochelle this year. The performance at the Lone Star duels, and like I said, he wins a couple of biggies, and he loses some matches he probably shouldn't. But he's got a tough schedule. He's wrestled a lot of the kid from Central Michigan, Bubba Gritter. He beat the kid from Oregon State, who's in the top 10. Fields, the Prendergast from Navy. But he's had as tough a schedule as anybody on the team.
Off the edge of the mat, we're halfway through the first period of heavyweight.
Trying to go undefeated last week, and then just had the mental slip up there in the last match. Of course, by then everybody was, I think the bus was already started, and they were ready to hit the road after that performance. But this is something down the road for NCAA seeding purposes. Jared wants to work his way up into the top 8.
He tried to reach in underneath there, pick something up. Rochelle, again, not quite as... Again, it's always dangerous when you get in underneath a heavyweight, but especially for Rochelle, usually undersized by a bunch, maybe as many as 50 pounds at times. But this guy's probably got a little more freedom to try something. Tries that low single there. Didn't get it picked up. Fields now picks up a leg, and he'll have the takedown. Jared tried for the low single, didn't get it, and then turned his back to Fields trying to get out of there. Fields got his ankle and took him down.
Yeah, Fields a good athlete. These guys take advantage of your mistakes. Jared, decent shot, but really didn't follow through with it. Fields with a little reshot, boom, drops down and grabs the leg. And like I said, these guys really, really take advantage of when you mess up, basically. And Jared, not a big mess up, but Fields is enough of an athlete to take advantage of it and get the big first period takedown, which in the heavyweight matches, very big.
And we're Rochelle getting to his feet on the whistle. And now he'll escape. 2-1. Steve Mocco out in front of that Cowboy bench. Telling Rochelle, okay, now go score. That would be big.
Fields is the man that replaced Maka when he left Iowa to come to Oklahoma State.
Rochon again trying to pick up that low single. He's getting his hand around that ankle, but not able to pick it up. He's done that 2 or 3 times, but against these big old boys, hard to scoop that ankle up, pick it up in the air. And he's, again, had 2 or 3 opportunities where he's gotten around behind that low single, right around behind the heel and the ankle, and just not able to pick it up. And it cost him 2 points earlier as the time runs out in period number 1, and a 2-1 lead for Matt Fields of Iowa.
Crowd's kind of in a hush. I mean, like I said, this duel very well could have come down to this match right here, which that would have been a little bit electric in here, but I think they're still a little kind of bummed about the injury. I mean, like I said, it's part of sport, but you just don't like to see a big injury like that play a major part in a dual meet.
Rochon down, but not for long. It's to his feet. Fields tried to pick up the angle, but finally gave up on that. Rochon scores the escape and ties it up at 2-2. Off the edge of the mat.
Fields does a good job. He's putting that forehead right in the chest of his opponent and that inside tie up and tries to be the guy coming forward and be the second man off the mat when they do go off the mat. Jared's going to play like Jack Jensen and do something maybe out of the ordinary, just take advantage of his quickness to score a takedown.
1:20 to go, period number 2. Rochon, Matt Fields, final bout of the night. One minute remaining. Again, Rochon several times getting up around the back of the head with the right hand, and reaching down with that left hand and trying to scoop up an ankle. And now he shoots in on the single leg, doesn't get it. Fields around behind him again, but Rochon able to get his hips around in time to avoid giving anything up.
Yeah, another near mistake there by Jared. Good shot, but Fields saw it coming, blocked it, and very nearly jumped around behind Jared. That would have been a huge takedown, but Jared's, like I said, he's got to maybe try something a little different. Change levels a little quicker, or maybe work on getting Fields off balance, which is easier said than done. Fields is one of those guys that's sturdy, and he stays good stance, good position.
Well, again, these are not bad shots by Rochon at all. But it cost him earlier and almost cost him again when he doesn't get it picked up. That he kind of exposes his back as he's trying to come out of there, realizing, well, I'm not going to get the leg. And then as he comes out twice, Fields able to get around behind him. But that time didn't give anything up. So it's 2-2 as we go to the final 2 minutes. And in the down position is Matt Fields of Iowa.
You got to figure Jared's probably try to ride him just a little bit, but I think it's going to come down to a third period takedown.
Fields trying to get to his feet. Rochon riding up high with that spiral ride now. Has him up underneath the left shoulder. That right arm run back through the crotch. Jumps around to the right side now as Fields trying to get to his feet. Rochon, again, stays right on him, gets him off the edge of the mat. Score tied 2-2. John Smith, head coach of the Cowboys, trying to inspire his redshirt freshman heavyweight. Jared Rochon to wrap it up with a win for the Cowboys on the whistle. Just as Fields got to his feet, Rochon knocked that leg out from under him and again goes back to work. Riding time now counting in favor of Rochon, but just for 3 seconds as Fields is out with the escape and now leads 3-2.
He's got to find a way. Low-level shot, or he's just got to find a way to try to get Fields off balance, because Fields isn't going to take a shot here. Fields is going to, he's got the 3-2 lead. This is his match. He got that first period takedown. You got to come to him, but like I said, easier said than done.
Rochon going to drive him to the mat, and they're not going to give him the takedown. Fields hit the mat, and just as he went down, Rochon drove into him and knocked him backwards, but Pat Fitzgerald was blowing the whistle and said no takedown.
Got poked in the eye or hit in the forehead or whatever it was. He just stopped.
Right. And Jared, give him credit for trying to seize the opportunity, but The official was blowing the whistle, realizing that Matt Fields was in some sort of distress there.
Yeah, he just stopped and dropped to his knees, and Jared ran over him, but he's poked in the eye. He looks like he's just got some cobwebs or something. Must have clashed heads in that last little exchange. He's just blinking. And
well, they check him out. The Iowa Hawkeye trainer checking out Matt Fields, says he's okay. And we got 1:05 to go now as the two heavyweights are back at it. Roddy, time not a factor. Fields nursing a 1-point lead, 3-2. Roshaw being very active. Goes in underneath on the single leg. Trying to pick it up. Trips the man to the mat. Takedown. Roshaw off the edge of the mat. Roshaw got the takedown, and the Iowa coaches are not happy. But Pat Fitzgerald gave him the takedown just as they hit the mat. Fields tried to recover, but Roshaw got the takedown. And it's 4-3. Fields to his feet. Roshaw has him around the waist, now shoves him away. Score tied 4-4. 40 seconds remaining. Not a bad closing act here between the heavyweights. Could be headed to overtime. 30 seconds remaining. Roshaw. Matt Fields of Iowa. Final battle of the night. Cowboys have locked up the dual win, trying to determine the final score. Crowd making some noise. 10 seconds remaining. Looks like the heavyweights are content to go into overtime. Neither one doing much of anything, kind of circling, staring at each other in the center of the mat. And the clock will run out. We'll head to overtime.
Boy, team point. Jack Jensen, little injury default. This thing could be a closing act overtime at the heavyweights.
1 minute on the clock. The two heavyweights on their feet. There's a shot, but not a good one there. Fields got in there, but really not much there. Roshaw able to underhook him, but not able to counter with anything of his own. 40 seconds in the overtime. There's a little head snap. Roshaw hits the mat. Fields trying to get around behind him. He does, and it scores the takedown. And in overtime, it'll be Matt Fields winning it by the score of 6-4 over Jared Roshaw of Oklahoma State. So Fields gets the win this time around. The Cowboys are going to win the duel. 21-11. Cowboys win it over the Hawkeyes. Roger, again, nothing went exactly according to form, and we didn't expect it to, but a couple of the Cowboys won the last time they lost. A couple they lost, they won. In the end, again, an injury default was huge in the match at 197, but the Cowboys did what they had to do to at least get back in